Welcome to The Explainer. What if I told you that you already have a powerful success system built right into your mind? One that works automatically if you just know how to use it. Well, today we're diving into the classic book, Psycho-Cybernetics, to show you exactly how to do that. All right, let's start with something I think we've all felt. You set a goal, right? Maybe it's to earn more money or speak more confidently or learn a new skill. You pour all your willpower into it. You push, you grind, and yet you still fall short. Or worse, you somehow end up sabotaging yourself. So what is going on here? Why does this happen over and over again? You know, the author, Maxwell Maltz, was actually a plastic surgeon, and he stumbled onto something pretty profound. He saw that even after he changed someone's face on the outside, it didn't always change how they felt about themselves on the inside. And that got him thinking. He realized the answer isn't just trying harder. It's not about more brute force. It's about understanding the machine you're trying to operate and learning to work with it instead of constantly fighting against it. And he came up with this term, Psycho-Cybernetics. Now, cybernetics is just a fancy word for how systems steer themselves. Think of a thermostat keeping a room at the right temperature. So Psycho-Cybernetics, well, it's the science of steering your mind. It's about you becoming the captain of your own ship, steering yourself directly toward the goals you want to achieve.
Okay, so here's the absolute core of the whole thing. You were born with a built-in guidance system. It's not something you have to go out and find or build from scratch. It's already there. You just need to learn how to turn it on and use it. And Maltz has a name for this. He calls it your success mechanism.
And look, this isn't some kind of mystical woo-woo concept. Maltz is very clear about this. He describes it as a creative, goal-striving machine that's part of your brain and nervous system. Think of it like a powerful autopilot. Its one and only job is to take whatever target you give it and then work automatically, behind the scenes, to find a way to hit that target. Simple as that. The analogy Maltz uses is just brilliant. Think of a heat-seeking missile. It's given a target, and it just goes, right? It uses constant feedback to automatically correct its course. If it veers a little too far to the right, that negative feedback brings it back left. It might zigzag a bit, sure, but it is always moving toward the goal. And here's the kicker. Your mind's success mechanism works in exactly the same way. Okay, but here's the catch. This incredible, powerful mechanism, it needs a program. It needs to be told what target to aim for. It needs a destination. And that master program, the operating system that sets the coordinates for your entire life, well, that's your self-image. And this right here is the absolute key to everything. As Maltz puts it, you will act like the sort of person you conceive yourself to be. Your actions, your feelings, your behaviors, even what you're capable of, it's all consistent with this internal picture you hold of yourself. Maltz discovered that you literally cannot act any other way, no matter how much willpower you throw at the problem. So what is this self-image? It's basically your own subconscious blueprint of who you are, and it's been built brick by brick from all your past experiences, your successes, your failures, how people treated you. The thing is, it's mostly formed unconsciously, and it sets the boundaries, the absolute outer limits for everything you believe you can achieve. You know, there's a story in the book that illustrates this perfectly. It's about this salesman who was basically living under a kind of self-hypnosis, and he had no idea that his own beliefs were putting a hard ceiling on his success. So his manager starts noticing something really bizarre. No matter what, this guy always made exactly $5,000 a year. It didn't matter if he had a great territory or a poor one. It didn't matter what the commission rate was. If you gave him a fantastic new area, he'd mysteriously get sick right before he could break past that $5,000 mark. But if you gave him a terrible territory, he'd work like crazy just to make sure he hit that same number. So the limit wasn't out there in the world. It wasn't about the economy or his territory. The limit was inside his own head. He truly, deeply believed he was a $5,000 a year man. And because of that, his automatic success mechanism worked perfectly to make sure his reality never ever exceeded his program. Okay, so this is where it gets really good. If your self-image is the program that's running the show, the big question is, how do you rewrite the code? How do you stop being the machine and become the programmer?
Well, Maltz says trying to use willpower alone is like trying to swim upstream against a powerful current. It's just exhausting, and you're probably not going to get very far. And here's why. Because whenever your willpower goes to war with your imagination, those mental pictures you have, your imagination is going to win pretty much every single time. And this is maybe the most mind-blowing part of the whole book. Your nervous system, it literally cannot tell the difference between something you actually experience and something you just imagine vividly. So when you mentally rehearse a new outcome, like picture yourself giving an amazing speech or absolutely nailing a job interview, you're creating new neural pathways. You're basically creating new memories of success. You are installing a new experience for your system to treat as real.
So that gives you two incredibly powerful tools for your reprogramming toolkit. First, you've got your imagination. You can use that to create the target you want, to experience it in your mind's eye. And second, you have rational thinking. You can use that to pick apart and dismantle all those old false beliefs that are holding you back. And here's how you can do that, practically. When you catch a limiting belief, like, I'm not good at public speaking, don't just accept it. Interrogate it. Ask yourself, why? Is this belief based on an actual unchangeable fact, like gravity? Or is it just an old interpretation of something that happened once? Maybe it's just a memory of one bad experience or something somebody told you years ago. The moment you realize it's just an opinion, not a hard fact, that's when you get the power to just throw it out. All right, this next idea, this might just be one of the most powerful reframes in all of personal development. It's about completely changing how you see failure. Let's go back to that guided missile for a second. That missile needs negative feedback to find its target. It has to know when it's off course so it can correct its path. If it didn't get that failure data, it would just fly on blindly forever and never hit its mark. And that's the whole point. Failure is not a judgment on who you are. It's not a verdict on your worth. It is not a stop sign. It is simply navigational data for your guidance system. That's it. It's just your brain going, okay, that didn't work. Let's try something else. It's just a course correction. So let's wrap this all up. The takeaway is this. You have an incredible automatic success mechanism working for you right now. Your self-image is the master program it's running. Your job is to become the programmer. So use your vivid imagination to set a new, clear target. Use rational thinking to delete that old limiting code. And from now on, treat every single failure as nothing more than a helpful course correction, guiding you straight to your goal. Once you really get this, the whole game changes. You stop nervously asking, can I do it? And you start confidently asking, what target should I set? Because your guidance system is online. It's ready and waiting. All it needs from you are the coordinates.